Hi, Maribel.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing? You survived all of the Valentine's Day madness?
We did. We did it. Thank gosh.
I know, right? Every year I say the same thing. I'm like, I survived another one.
I
I'm
know.
never doing this again.
We always
But
say
that's a
that.
lie. That's
It's
a
a
lie.
lie.
Every year I lie to myself about it.
I know it. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you came into this business?
Yeah. Okay. Well, my name's Maribel Herrera. I'm born and raised here in San Diego, California. I've been doing floral design now for about 14 years. About 14 years. Been in weddings and events probably for about 7 of those years, so about half the time. And now I'm embarking on a newer arena of teaching, educating, workshops, experiences, things like that. So it's safe to say I'm pretty engulfed in all things flowers. Flowers really are my life. I started off at an early age when I was about 18. Now I'm 33. So it's been some time. Started off as a art major, and I thought I was going to move away to New York and leave San Diego and start a whole new life in New York City and live in a little studio and paint and find a little life over there, right? Away from San Diego. Very
It didn't
opposite,
happen.
very non-beachy, non all of that kind of stuff. Very opposite, right? Didn't happen. I fell in love with flowers instead. I was painting, so I was an art major, and painting in color was very similar to floral and how you can utilize color in floral design, floral palettes, texture, movement, all that great stuff. So I kind of linked them together and
Yeah.
realized that they were a lot more similar than I really thought. So from there, started at Vaughn, started a grocery store, and little by little, people would tell me, you should go apply at this little flower shop. There's a little flower shop down the road. There's this, there's that. And I kept going. And I got to a point that I said, there has to be some kind of like formal education for this. So I did my little research and I took myself up to Anaheim to the Southern School of Floral Design with Phil Rulota. And I began taking courses with him. And then from there, I came back to San Diego all ready and excited for what was going to come. And I went knocking on little flower shops' doors to please let me in. And a lot of people basically were like, you need more experience. You need more hands on experience. I know that on paper you say you're trained, but you got to get some more experience. And I kept going and I thought to myself, nobody's ever going to hire me. Nothing's ever going to happen. I don't have enough experience, but yet my training says I have experience, but I need in shop experience, more
Yeah.
of it. And finally, a little shop in Bonita called Bonita Florist gave me an opportunity. And I still am very much, we're good friends and we still keep in contact with everything, with each other. And they gave me the opportunity, and from there I just began to bloom and blossom and learn more, learn from other designers, learn different techniques, different styles, different everything that comes with on job experience too, of working in a retail flower shop. And then from there my little wings started growing and I said I want to learn about weddings. I think weddings are pretty. And I began my journey to look for another floral company, for more of a floral company as opposed to a flower shop, a little bit
Yeah.
bigger of an entity. And I came across Allen's Flowers. And from Allen's Flowers, I've been with them for about, I think, over a decade now. That 9 to 10 years that I've been with them now. And from there, I worked with amazing floral designers. I worked with somebody named Michelle Frost that she was trained under Phil Rulota as well. So I got two different generations of the same kind of training styles, techniques, that kind of thing. And from there, I've just been on the up and up of floral and all things weddings and events. That's for certain. I think that's where I found a little bit more of my niche and what I enjoy doing in the floral industry. But yeah, it's been a beautiful long journey. Floral is one
Yeah.
of the only things I've ever known since I was a teenager, a rebellious little teenager, and
Yeah.
now here I
Mhm.
am.
So don't you think that, I mean, obviously going through the channels that you went through to get to where you are, um, don't you think that your flower shop experience helped considerably?
Oh yeah, I don't think I could
Yeah.
be where I am today if I wouldn't have gone through flower shop
Same.
experience. There's
Mhm.
so many different things that happens in flower shops that
Yeah.
no proper training, nobody telling you a story,
Yeah.
nobody anything like that could possibly prepare you for just the real life experiences,
Yeah.
the real life pressure, the real life customer service, you
Yeah.
know, trial and error,
Yeah.
learning what may work, what may not work. That's how I learned a lot of temperatures for floral, learning what can stay out of a cooler, learning what wilts within a certain time frame, doing experiments, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I think it's
It's
very important to have shop experience,
yeah.
honestly.
I agree. I absolutely cherish the shop experience that I had back home. I mean, it's just so valuable, the things that you learn
Yes.
through the years. But you had mentioned, being an artist. But
Yeah.
what else inspires you to
Mm,
create in your florals? Like what else do you find inspiration from?
fashion, food, dancing, music, color. Color is my biggest inspiration in everything. But it's in the way we do everything in life. It's the
Yeah.
way that you speak to people. It's the way you hold yourself. It's the way you connect with somebody. Um, from the way you drink your coffee in the morning, how you decide to start your day, how you wake up, if you are a person that chooses to pray or meditate, things like that. I find a lot of inspiration in just the weather, how the weather is that
Yeah.
moment in time, that feeling, that smell, that a perfume will cause me inspiration. I mean, if you look around hard enough, you can find inspiration in almost anything.
Yeah.
But I think my top three are probably color, fashion, and food. I love food, and now
Yeah.
I'm a big food. I'm learning how to cook more, so I'm a big foodie and
Oh.
how to present differently.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Tell me what I mean, you've been in the business a long time, but like what has your biggest hurdle been, do you think?
Biggest hurdle. I know it might sound funny, I guess. My biggest hurdle would probably be just showing people that I can do it,
Yeah.
that that I know what I'm talking about. I understand product. I'm able to create it and I'm able to show up and be consistent about it. I think for me that's been my biggest challenge. I went through a lot of bullying, I guess you can say, in my younger career in floral design and even as when I was younger, in my own personal life kind of thing. And I feel unfortunately that sometimes when you are in those shop environments, not all of them, not across the board, this isn't to generalize or stereotype anything, but there's sometimes you come in as a younger designer and you haven't yet earned your stripes. You haven't yet put in that time. You
Yeah.
haven't yet shown that you can hang with the big dogs. And a lot of it, I feel one of the biggest things that I had against me was just showing that I could hang, showing that I could keep up, showing that I could be here for crazy Valentine's Day and keep that momentum going, showing that I could do a, 12-hour day on a setup for a wedding that, went crazy because the weather went crazy or things that you can't foresee. All of those experiences that
Yeah.
they tell you stories about, but you never know till you're experiencing them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, I think one of the biggest hurdles was being told I can't and being told your floral design is mediocre at best and pushing past those boundaries of being told you're okay, but you're not going to be great one day or
Yeah.
it's okay, it's passable, but you're you're a trend. This is just pastime for you. It's nice to see that my pastime has continued on and is
Yeah.
my life and my passion. And I don't think I'll ever be out of the floral industry, to be honest with you. This has been it's been the love of my life,
Yeah.
you
Same.
know?
I think like once that you're kind of bit by that bug, you're
Yeah,
you're in it for in
you're
it.
in it.
Yeah.
You're in it. You're
Yeah.
completely in it.
Yeah.
You don't want to know a different life, I guess you can say.
Mhm.
A lot of people always ask me, what else would you do if you weren't a floral designer?
Mhm.
And all I can think of in my head is like, what other portions of the floral industry can I
Yes.
educate myself on to continue the growth and expansion and learn more about so that I can be in all arenas, not just in a shop, not just in weddings and events. That's why I was talking about learning on more so on how to educate and how to do workshops and how to give my knowledge, whatever knowledge I have, and pass it on to somebody else that's craving that knowledge or a younger generation, you
Yeah.
know. Ultimately, I would love to have internships and other people that are wanting to learn and wanting to grow
Yeah.
and take that floral journey for themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So,
What advice would you give them?
what advice would I give them? Say yes until you absolutely have to say no. So, obviously, having boundaries.
Persistence.
Having boundaries are always important, of course. Nobody wants to feel taken advantage of, but to understand that every opportunity, every time somebody presents an opportunity to you, every time you're able to do a little bit of overtime, stay later, shadow a designer,
Yeah.
um, go on a setup, go to the market, anything. That if you are at the beginning of your journey, look at everything from all aspects, even the delivery portion of things, the logistics of things, how an order is taken in your system, sitting in on a consultation, anything, any which way, shape, format, how a relationship is with a funeral home, whatever it may be that's going on in your shop or your area, just taking advantage of saying yes until you like physically can't say no, or until you're triple booked and you're like, I can't be there. So I got to get rid of one thing or the other, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really great advice. Maribel, do you have any exciting projects coming up or anything interesting? Planning,
Exciting projects. Okay.
photo shoots, anything like that?
So I try I try my very best to keep busy with projects
Yeah.
and to have what I call my bread and butter, which is always weddings and events.
Yes.
I always have that going on. I always try to have an inspired photo shoot or concept or something that's creative and geared towards whatever season that we're in. So we're going to be embarking on springtime and Easter and Mother's Day. So I'm going to try my very best to create some content that is more geared towards that time. I
Yeah.
personally love Easter and I'm a very big time spring baby. So I love all the colors that come in during Easter time and during
Yeah.
springtime. So I try to keep a creative project in mind and something that gives me like something that isn't work per se, because as much as I love floral and as much as I love doing weddings and events, it's a constant turnaround. It's a
Sure.
constant, what's the next wedding? What's the next style that we have coming up? It's a
For sure.
constant little cycle for me, I guess you can say. And I have to keep myself happy creatively and emotionally and to balance mentally as well to have a passion project that I can. That's always such a beautiful San Diego thing to be involved in. And
Yeah.
I have a lot of pride and joy when I get to be a part of that. And it continues to inspire me. And I
Yeah.
hope that I get to inspire.
More people to sort of join our
Yeah,
industry.
don't be afraid. It's okay. Like, it's okay to be you. It's okay to have an accent. It's okay if you don't have, it doesn't have a language per se, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
It doesn't speak Spanish, it doesn't speak Italian. It's something that's universal and a feeling that everybody feels together.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry to get so emotional about it, but
Mm,
you
that's
know,
okay.
it's the one thing that I've learned throughout my journey with all of this too is it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
It's okay if you are mixed. It's okay if you are gay, if you're straight, if you're queer, if you're Latina, if you're Filipino, whatever it may be. There is no shame in anything, in any of those things, because that's what makes us who we are. And
Yeah.
our cultures is what gives inspiration and beauty into what we do, you know? For me growing up, I was never Latina enough for the Latinos, but I was never Anglo-Saxon enough for that side either.
Yeah.
I always fell in a little gray area, and I never knew how beautiful it could be though.
Yeah.
How beautiful it could be to just embrace who you are, embrace what you are,
Mhm.
and it's okay if you sound funny when if you don't speak Spanish well
Yeah.
or another language well. It's okay if you know don't know how to say that properly, you know, to
Yeah.
just embrace yourself for who you are and what you are, and to not have any shame in any of that, you know. I don't think that there should be shame in any of that. Um so going back to the question, I guess you could say, is just authentically be who you are, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
and and it's okay. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with any of it, you know.
I
It's
feel
not
like
even if
too.
other
No,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, thinking like especially in our industry, like I feel you can, because what we do is so like sort of interpretive, like we
Right.
you can be anything you want, like
Yes.
you can. It's hard to put into words, but it's like I
It
guess maybe
is.
maybe it's the most forgiving um business, or maybe
Mhm.
maybe not forgiving, but maybe the most acceptive.
It is very accepting. I do feel that there is a lot of
Yeah,
diversity in our industry.
yeah.
There is representation in every which way, shape, and manner,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. We are like the flowers, so
Yes.
individual, so different. So you have tall ones, short ones, lighter colored, darker colored, everything in between. You know, I always explain to people that all flowers are beautiful, but we're all just so different. And we come in different varieties and we bloom during certain times of the year. And we're very much like flowers, you
Yeah,
know,
for
and
sure.
diversity is diversity is what is needed as well. You know, they say the best thing in life is to have variety. And I think that there does need to be a variety in all aspects of floral design, you know, in however you can represent, whatever you can bring to the table that's you, that's authentically you, whether it's culturally, whether it's anything, like your blue hair, your style, whatever it is that defines you. And why not bring that? Why not show people, you know, why not show somebody else that there's somebody else out there that can relate to you, you know?
Yeah,
So for me, it's don't be afraid. Just, it's okay to be you.
yeah,
It's okay to whatever it may be, you know,
yeah,
it's okay to be you. That's one thing that I've learned throughout all of these years, throughout being bullied, throughout criticism in our industry, throughout personal experiences and professional experiences. The one thing that I can say and that I'm comfortable saying now that I'm here is that it's way okay to be me. And I'm happy to be me. And I'm happy to see other people celebrate themselves and celebrate those diversities, you know?
yeah, for
And
sure.
it's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, it's beautifully put. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maribel, thank you so much for coming on here and
Of
talking about
course.
your experience and your life and your journey. I
Thank you
love,
for having me.
yeah. So today I'm going to celebrate you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for having me on. This has been, as funny as it may sound to you, this has been a dream for me. I remember a young floral designer only hoping and praying that I could work with Mayesh and speak with Mayesh and be given the opportunities that I've been given a little bit more recently with Ana, and speaking in Spanish and instructing in Spanish with Ana. And it's a
Yeah.
dream come true. it's a big dream come true.
Yeah, she's
So
incredible. She's just
she's
such
very
oh my
incredible. A
God.
ray of light.
Yeah,
She's a ray of light. She really is.
she really
Sometimes I'm
is.
like, I'm a little dark cloud, but she's a
Oh,
big pop of beautiful light.
she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. Thank you
Well,
so much.
thank you.